Both of your families suggested that you wait to get married until Gypsy's release. Why did you choose not to do that? What was the rush?
Well, with us getting married, she was able to come live with me straight out of prison.
Right.
So that was important. That's what we both wanted. We didn't want to date and then, she'd come out and be like, okay, I'm going 3.5 hours away from where you live. I'll talk to you later.
Right.
So it was one of those we just wanted to. People did want us to wait some, but it was one of those where we knew what we wanted to do. She's never got to live her life before. So it's one of those where, our parents were like, well, let's let her live it.
Understandably so, if you're living your life really for the first time. Was there not a part of yourself that wanted to do it alone, independently?
I think that spending 8.5 years in prison, all I was alone.
Yeah.
And I was tired of sleeping in a bed by myself. I was tired of feeling like I had no one to share memories with. I always knew that I wanted to share it with someone. I just didn't know who.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. And I don't know.
1 week ago, Gypsy Rose Blanchard announced her separation from her husband, Ryan Anderosn. Then, 4 days later, she spotted out in public with her ex-fiance Ken getting matching tattoos, which has many people questioning if Gypsy left Ryan for Ken. Gypsy and Ken insist that that's not true and that they're just friends. So why did Gypsy and Ryan separate to begin with? Now, TMZ put out an exclusive article about why Gypsy and Ryan separated, but another creator who is a family friend has also said that that's not really the whole story. So first, let's take a look at what this source told TMZ the reason for Gypsy and Ryan's split was, and then we're going to talk about what the family friend says the reason for the split is. The article is titled Gypsy Rose Blanchard Arguments and Guilt Tripping by Ryan Led to Separation. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's post-prison fairy tale with her husband came to an end last week, and now we know exactly what led up to the split. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Gypsy has been telling family and friends that her estranged hubby, Ryan Anderosn, had become super argumentative post-prison release and was constantly making her feel like she couldn't do anything right. We're told one of the major sticking points in Gypsy and Ryan's relationship was his apparent jealousy over her spending time with her dad. That's what our sources say Gypsy has been telling people anyway. Instead of supporting her bond with her father, we're told Gypsy feels like Ryan made her feel guilty about not spending that time with him exclusively. After spending years behind bars, we're told Gypsy was eager to reconnect and build relationships with her family, and our sources say she felt suffocated by Ryan's constant guilt tripping. We're also now hearing Gypsy's inner circle had serious concerns about Ryan's intentions, especially over the fact he only reached out to Gypsy on a dare. Because remember, Ryan's coworker said that they were going to write to the Tiger King, and Ryan told his coworker that if they wrote to the Tiger King, he would write to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Another interesting tidbit, we're told recent rumors that Gypsy may be pregnant are not true. If she was pregnant, she wouldn't have gotten matching dog tattoos with her ex-fiance Ken earlier this week. That's something our sources made clear to us. As we reported, despite Gypsy spending a lot of time with her ex post her split from Ryan, we've been told they're not rekindling their romance, this per Ken's own mother. Remember, Raina, which is Ken's mother, also told us Ken's intentions are pure as gold, adding she felt Ryan was untrustworthy and doesn't care for her the way Ken does. She says for Gypsy and Ken to potentially rekindle anything romantic, she'd need to be officially divorced from Ryan and close that chapter of her life. So now that is what the anonymous source told TMZ the reason for Gypsy and Ryan's split was. So now we are going to get into what the other creator, who goes by the name Without a Crystal Ball, says is the real reason why Gypsy and Ryan split. And according to her, this has been something that has been going on for a while. It wasn't just a sudden split. Things had been not good for quite some time. Now, she too posted a video about this, so I am just going to be giving a brief summary. If you guys would like to go over and check out her video, I will link it in the description of my video. But she is friends with Christy, who is Gypsy's stepmother. And she does also mention in her video that she has talked to Gypsy as well. So she said in her video that Gypsy moved to Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is roughly 2.5 hours away from her family who lives in Cutoff, Louisiana. Now, Gpsy moved to Lake Charles because that's where Ryan lived, that's where his family and his job is, and prior to Ryan moving in with Gpsy, he was living with his mother to help take care of his nephew. So when Gpsy and Ryan got their own apartment together in Lake Charles, she was 100% reliant on Ryan. Gpsy didn't have a driver's license and she didn't have a permit. And as we know, she was on parole, so she has stipulations about where she can go and who with. As a part of Gpsy's parole stipulations, she also had to be in therapy. So anywhere and everywhere that Gpsy either needed or wanted to go, she either had to go with Ryan or his mother, and she was just beginning to get to know Ryan's mother. Now, Gpsy's entire support system was 2.5 hours away. That being her dad, her stepmom, her half-sister Mia, basically her entire family, who also wanted to get to know Gpsy and establish relationships with her. Now, as we all know, Gpsy was dependent and controlled by her mother for basically her entire life. So when she moved in with Ryan, it felt just as controlled as when she was with her mother. So apparently, the few times that Gpsy was able to go home to Cutoff, Louisiana to visit with her dad without Ryan, they would get into huge fights. Very huge, unhealthy fights. Apparently, Ryan was convinced that her parents were against him and that her dad was going to try and make Gpsy leave him. These fights apparently got so bad that Gpsy's safety became an issue. And the final straw would be when she wanted to go and visit with her sister Mia, and Ryan told her no. So basically, after all of these months of being told no and not being able to do what she wanted to do and having near physical altercations, as she described it, Gpsy was just not doing well. Now, Without a Crystal Ball also said in her video that she felt like Ryan wanted to get Gpsy pregnant as a way to trap her or keep her in the relationship, because she says that Gpsy did not want to get pregnant and that she's just not ready to be a mom right now. Now, she also brought up the fact that a lot of people are saying that they believe Gpsy was using Ryan, which I have seen this a lot in my comments as well. And what Without a Crystal Ball said in her video is that Gpsy's parents were paying for everything that Gpsy needed while she was in prison. So putting money on her books and paying for her commissary. So Gpsy didn't really need to use Ryan for those things. And as far as using him for a place to live, she was originally supposed to go and live with her parents when she got out, but she ended up moving in with Ryan. So basically, the TMZ article stated that Ryan was very controlling and that he had some jealousy over Gpsy's dad. And then in the story we hear from Without a Crystal Ball, it seems like there were a lot of issues that had been building up and progressing over time. But Gpsy has only been out of prison for about 3 months now. And right when she got out, she hit the ground running with a media campaign. So I think it was around 13 interviews that I counted that she and Ryan went and did. So they were very busy with that. And then on top of that, Gpsy was also filming for her new show on Lifetime. So I can imagine their lives were very busy, hectic, and stressful. That compounded with the fact that Gpsy is on parole and has all of these stipulations and guidelines that she has to meet probably made for a very stressful environment, as well as just getting to know Ryan and who he is as a person outside of the prison wall. Now, of course, there are 3 sides to every story. There's going to be Gpsy's side, Ryan's side, and then the truth somewhere in the middle. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with this entire situation and what Ryan has to say. Without a Crystal Ball said in her video that Gpsy does not plan on trying to work things out with Ryan or getting back with him. So it looks like that they are headed for a divorce. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. If you could, please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one.